Hey there guys, Portal Master here, and in today's video we are going to be talking about a very important concept that I wanted to discuss about Skylanders Ring of Heroes. Now if you've played this game for any amount of time, then you will already know about a very important mechanic in this game, which is of course awakening characters. Awakening your Skylanders is a very important thing to do, but it isn't important maybe in the same ways that you thought it was, and that sounds like a confusing statement, and I'm going to justify what I just said. So basically, the gist of what this video is going to try to say is awakening your character shouldn't be priority number one for very many characters, if any characters really at all. I've had a lot of people asking, what's the fastest way to awaken a character, or, how do I awaken this character? But, questions along those lines. And I think that a lot of people are caught up in the fact that it makes the character look cool, and aren't so caught up on the fact that if you actually look at it, awakening isn't really worth it on a lot of characters up until a certain point. Again, I'm going to explain this in a minute. So the first character that I really want to draw attention to in regards to this issue is actually Stealth Elf. Now Stealth Elf, you can see, is the character that I've got pulled up on the screen right here. And Stealth Elf is a character that right out the gate you get a ton of soul stones for. As you can see, I already have her up to 5 stars, level 50, and she'll be up to 6 stars pretty soon. And you might be saying, well, Portal Master, did you not have enough soul stones to awaken her? And yeah, I did. But see, here's the thing. It's not actually worth awakening Stealth Elf for, a long time, really. You should really get her to 6 stars, level 70, before awakening her. Maybe 5-star level 60. Definitely not before she's 5-star level 60, though. In my opinion, she really should be a 6-star character before you awaken her. Because, here's the thing. If you actually look at what Awakening does, Awakening pretty much shifts one ability from a standard form to an upgraded form. So, I'm going to go to a more noticeable character, a character that this is a little bit more, I don't know, just noticeable with. I'm going to find Snapshot on here, which I have Snapshot Awakened on my old account, not on this new account. So he has an ability called Traptanium Arrows, and Traptanium Arrows, you can see on here, fires an arrow at one enemy and decreases their endurance. So basically it's a high-powered shot from his bow that just, I think it does 4 ticks of endurance basically. So it does it takes away a lot of endurance, and it does a lot of damage too. Snapshot is a very powerful character, and you'll notice that it uses 4 mana. Honestly, even at taking away 4 endurance and doing as much damage as it does, at 4 mana, this ability is actual garbage. It's really not worth using at all, and you can see that he's got the 2 skills. He does have 3 skills. He actually has Torrential Tide Pool, but honestly, Torrential Tide Pool is not as good as Traptanium Arrows is once Snapshot is awakened, and I'll explain that in a second. So, for Snapshot, he goes from having this ability that I won't say is completely useless, but it's really a subpar ability due to its high mana cost, but then it becomes double Traptanium Arrows, and it actually does 4 ticks of endurance to 2 different enemies, and it basically just doubles the effect. It causes him to shoot not 1 but 2 targets. This is actually such an insane power-up. It's to date, of the characters that I awakened on the other account, on the old account for the Canadian and Australian servers, Snapshot was honestly the most dramatic awakening that I had seen. There are a lot of other characters on here that I haven't played around with as much that do have significant, upgrades when you awaken them, but there's also a lot of characters that have insignificant upgrades when you actually awaken them. Stealth Elf is one of those characters. So if we come back over to Stealth Elf and we actually look at the same thing for her, you can see that she's got 3 skills. She has Poison Spores, which is a low to mid damage attack that uses 2 mana, has Blade Slash, which is a very high damaging ability that takes 4 mana, and she also has Stealth, which gives her stealth for 1 turn, and you can see that basically it hides her and it increases her crit rate and evasion. And the thing about Stealth Elf is that Blade Slash, if you use Blade Slash and it critical hits, you can basically do an attack to all enemies. So she has the ability to combo Stealth into Blade Slash and basically get a very high critical rate and do an area of effect damage when she comes out of Stealth and uses Blade Slash. Very powerful combo. However, in terms of raw DPS, if you actually want to keep her at raw DPS, Poison Spores and Blade Slash is a different way to go. It's not the way to go. There are pros and cons of each skill. But here's the thing, when I use Stealth Elf, I typically don't use the stealth version. I would use Hex if I needed the area of effect damage, which is AoE. If I say AoE, that's area of effect. It's damage that affects multiple enemies. It's not a bad ability to chain Stealth and Blade Slash, but it's not what I used personally for area of effect, because I didn't typically need that. And again, it's a powerful combo, but see, when you awaken Stealth Elf, you go from stealth to superior stealth, and it not only gives her stealth, but it also takes away all debuffs, which is okay. I guess that's a powerful ability in a way. I mean, it's not bad. It's obviously you want superior stealth over regular stealth. I'm not denying that. However, compared to the power ramp that Snapshot gets from Awakening, it's pretty much completely and totally insignificant. And if you actually think about it, you could spend 300 soul stones to take her from, say, not awakened to awakened. Or you could use the same number of soul stones to take her from 5 stars to 6 stars, or heck, from 3 stars pretty much all the way up to 5 stars. And the power ramp that you get there is actually insane, like going from 1 star level to another star level, whereas just getting superior stealth really doesn't make her all that much more powerful, again, in comparison to the extra 10 or 20 levels that you could get from spending those soul stones on simply powering her up and leveling her up instead. It's actually insane. There are other characters where Awakening is sort of semi-worth it, and let me find a good one on here. I guess we'll use Hot Dog as an example. So Hot Dog has these 2 abilities. He has Super Comet and he has Ultra Comet. Hot Dog is a character that I actually think can be worth, potentially, depending on how you want to play it, can actually be worth probably awakening at around the 5-star level. In my opinion, you shouldn't even awaken Stealth Elf until she's completely maxed out in terms of everything else. For Hot Dog, I think you can awaken him probably once he hits max 5 stars. Maybe max 4 stars, definitely at max 5 stars. You don't need to wait until he's a 6-star character to actually awaken him for this purpose, because Super Comet, when it attacks, he basically grants a 60% chance to grant an attack bonus to the ally with the highest attack, which is good, especially if you're doing an Enigma, Stealth Elf, and Hot Dog combo, because then the idea is you use Enigma to basically shield Stealth Elf, and then you can use the 2 of them to buff Stealth Elf up and increase her damage output to an insane level. And if that's what you're doing, you honestly don't need to awaken Hot Dog, because Hot Dog will automatically target Stealth Elf and give her that attack bonus, meaning that she'll get buffed pretty much no matter what, because if you're running Hot Dog, Stealth Elf, and Enigma, then Hot Dog will automatically be targeting Stealth Elf with that ability. But say you're running a different team composition. Honestly, the game hasn't been out long enough to figure out what other team compositions Hot Dog could potentially be good in. But Ultra Comet then not only grants the highest, or grants attack bonus to not only the ally with the highest attack, but actually all allies. Now, this is a more minor boost, and I suppose if you were using a double attacker, so like if you were using Stealth Elf and then another high DPS character, so maybe you were running a Snapshot Stealth Elf Hot Dog combo, which was actually a team that I used that team in the arena. I found that worked really well because Hot Dog was double buffing Snapshot and Stealth Elf, which is actually an effective combo. In my opinion, in my experience, it worked somewhat well. So again, the thing is that Awakening, the point I'm trying to drive home here is that Awakening is not always the blanket answer. You shouldn't always awaken every single character the second that you can. And honestly, you're going to have to, when you decide to awaken a character, take a hard look at the characters you're using and figure out what's going to work the best. Because sometimes it makes sense to awaken, and sometimes it does not. Because again, I can't go through every single character and say, okay, you should awaken Stealth Elf when she's at 6 stars. You should awaken Hot Dog when he's at 5 stars. You should probably awaken Snapshot really quickly if you can. Like as soon as you're using, Snapshot. As soon as you're using Snapshot, you should awaken him. I can't go through and say on a case-by-case basis because there's just too many characters, honestly, to even try to worry about, trying to say, oh, do Enigma here, do Blades here. you honestly just have to take a good hard long look at every single character and do this. But and when I do actual unit guides, which I will do, like I said, I'm going to have a 1-star unit guide out because 1-star units are actually super important in this game. And I'll be talking about each one of these characters and, in my opinion, when you should awaken them. And so, you know, once we do that, once I get around to that, I'll do like on case-by-case basis in those videos, but I can't go through and tell you when you should awaken every character. And the other thing is like I was saying with the hot dog thing, a lot of it does come down to team composition. In a team with only a single high damage unit, you really don't need an awakened hot dog. But in a team with 2 high damage dealing units, then awakening hot dog isn't a bad idea for that double attack boost. So again, it comes down to a case-by-case basis and being smart. This game is deceptively simple in a lot of aspects. You would think higher level character equals good, awakened character equals good. You know, it's not that cut and dry. So I encourage you guys to, when you're thinking about upgrading a character, when you're thinking about awakening a character, when you're thinking about doing any of that stuff, take a good hard long look at what your options are and figure out how to proceed. The same thing goes for when you're skilling up a character, and I don't know why that icon popped up because I have gone into the skill up menu before. Skilling up is another important thing. It's not the main focus of this video, but it's another thing that you really want to be scrolling through these and figuring out what works best for you, because skill ups are currently the hardest thing to do in this game. The resources are severely limited, and overall, again, this game, you need to be paying attention to what you're trying to do, what units you're trying to build, and what synergies are going to work the best for you to actually create the strongest team that you can. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions for me, leave them down in the comments. This game, like I said, deceptively simple, so any questions, any future tutorial videos that you would like me to make, leave them down in the comments below. I will get around to them eventually, hopefully, assuming that they're actually a good video idea that I'd like to do, which hopefully they will be. So yes, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Portal Master. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and shout out to all my patrons on Patreon, especially Portal Power TV and Cosmic Dragon Gaming. See you guys next time.